Hello, and thank you for joining me for a brief overview of business continuity and disaster recovery, and how to properly protect your business function in an ever changing technology world of bad actors. My name's Chris Morey. I'm the IT Services Manager here at Electronic Communication Services. I've been dealing with backup and disaster recovery for about 15 years. I've seen quite a few changes in the IT landscape over the years. Seen a lot of changes in the threats and a lot of changes in the tools used to mitigate those threats. So, over the next few minutes, we're going to discuss some of the traditional things that people have done, some of the new things people have done, and the ways that we can help protect your business. So I want to start with a few moments here on what can cause data loss. Ransomware is one of the biggest factors in data loss. It's estimated to become a $15 billion industry by the year 2025. It is actually one of the biggest vectors of any sort of data loss. Ransomware comes in and encrypts all of your files and prevents any sort of access to those files. Having a good disaster recovery plan is the only way to prevent ransomware from taking down your business. Data migration, anytime that data is moving from one place to another, from one program to another, there's a potential for data loss. Software corruption, there's a new update to a software. Well, sometimes that update's not actually going to play nice with the data that it's actually updating behind the scenes. Natural disasters, certainly if there's a fire, even a fire in the building next door to you, well, that can actually cause some issues for you where you may not have access to your building for a period of time. Well, you need to have a disaster recovery plan in place so that you can have business continuity in that scenario. Hardware failure, hard drives die, hardware fails, and it happens. Power supplies die. You need to have something in place and something ready in case that hardware does fail. Theft, it is out there. I think it's a little bit, um, you know, uh, physical theft is a little bit, not in play as much, but the theft of actual data. How do you protect someone actually stealing your files and reusing those files? Hey, that's data loss. And one of the biggest areas of data loss is actually human error. No one is perfect. No matter what an IT person will tell you, they're not a perfect person. Data loss does happen. People will let that ransomware link in. People will use a poorly crafted password. Human error, that's going to be the biggest vector people are going to use to get into your system. So traditional backups, there's a few of them out there. Tape backups. Honestly, if you're using tape backups, we can just skip to the end of this webinar, check out our contact information, and reach out to us. No one should be using tape backups anymore. Um, there's more people that I'd like to see still using tape backups. They are not reliable, and they take a really long time to recover from. We'll talk about downtime in just a few slides here. Backup Exec was the primary tool that people would use for backups for many, many years. Backup Exec was a very powerful tool to back up servers and desktops and backup files, and it's a really reliable tool. Still has some good functionality in today's world. It is a file-based backup solution. There are other file on us. It's a myriad of different options of Windows-based backups out there. The sync tools, those are sometimes considered a backup tool. They're not a backup tool. They're only a sync tool. Things like OneDrive, Dropbox, Google Drive, they're going to sync whatever data is available for it to sync. So if there's ransomware on a system, well, Google Drive and OneDrive and Dropbox, well, they're just going to sync that ransomware file. There's no distinguishing factor on their side of what file it is. They're just going to sync whatever files are out there. So having those files synced to the cloud, it's great for collaboration. It's great for being able to work from multiple machines, but it's not a reliable backup solution. So, what are new backup and recovery options? Well, the first one here we're going to talk about is a managed image based backup solution. A managed image based backup solution is kind of taking like a Polaroid of your systems as quickly as every 15 minutes. So, as it stood, every 15 minutes, every hour, every 2 hours, whatever makes sense for the business need. And it kind of creates this photo negative. We can reprint that photo negative over and over in a dark room anytime we would need that photo negative to be reprinted. So if a hardware fails, well, we just go back to the negative and we reprint that photo. So we can take a picture of the system periodically, as quickly as every 15 minutes. Some people don't need a recovery point that quickly, but hey, we're here to chat with you about recovery point objectives and recovery time objectives. Managed file based backup solutions are still a viable solution out there. I just spoke about file based solutions being a more traditional route. A managed file based solution, well, that's something that's managed. It's something that's reported on. It's checked on. It's tested. However, during a recovery, we're hand drawing that photo from human memory. We may have all the elements. We know that there's a table in the picture. We know there's some chairs. We know there's some cabinets. But it takes somebody who knows, hey, this is a kitchen. We have to draw it like a kitchen. So it takes a little bit more time for an actual recovery to occur. So with that, we're talking about the cost of downtime. On a managed image-based solution, you can be up and running in a matter of minutes and hours. Think of this like a AAA type service. If you have a flat tire on the side of the road or a dead battery or you run out of gas, you call up AAA within a reasonable amount of time. They're out there with a new tire. They're out there with a new battery, with a tank of gas to get you down the road. In a managed file-based solution, yeah, you might still be down for a few days or weeks to have you up and running after a system failure or crash. Like I said in the previous slide, someone has to hand draw that kitchen by memory. They have to know it was a kitchen. So in this scenario with a car on the side of the road, we're gonna have to push your car to the nearest mechanic. That mechanic's not going to know that, hey, it's the battery that's failed. They're going to rebuild the whole engine bay just to replace and fix the battery there. It could be days and weeks before you actually have an ETA, before you know what's going to happen. Do you actually just need a new car? So the real question comes down to, how much business would you lose if you don't know who owes you money, if you don't know who you owe money to? If the factory floor has a team or a major piece of equipment that cannot run for days and weeks at a time? And what about the negative PR associated if and when the public finds out? Do you have a corporate policy in place that says you can't go to the public with any info regarding the business? So that prevents people from going out to social media and say, hey, I'm out of work because my business got ransomware. All these policies all take effect in that cybersecurity mindset here. So when we're talking about time to recover on an image-based solution, certainly images, they work a lot faster because we have the image of the system to work from. So the overall time to recovery, it's usually much faster, but it is always based on the extent of the system failure, no matter what the solution is. Decisions need to be made within that first hour that are going to drastically affect the overall outcome. So, say for ransomware is the cause of the outage, what methods are documented to start the recovery? Typically, we would recommend the very first step is call us, and we're going to recommend to call the cyber insurance provider that you have for next steps. If you don't have cyber liability insurance, cyber security insurance, please reach out to your insurance provider, talk to them. They are going to give us recommendations on what they would like to have happen so that they can cover that recovery. No additional cost to you. You pay your premiums on that. They may say don't touch anything. they may want to say, leave it all up to them. That's up to them. We'll deal with them if we have to. Um, one of the other key things to look at if ransomware is a cause, hey, ransomware is resold to bad actors as a service. Sometimes they're using old ransomware tools. Sometimes that old tool has a decoder that law enforcement already cracked and made publicly available. Another key item here to think about is, are you testing your backups regularly? Do you remember doing fire drills back in elementary school? They were fun breaks from the normal everyday work for all the students, but who really benefited from those? Hey, the teachers and the administration benefited. Without a proper plan in place, the basics will be missed. So that's what we're talking about, are the basics. You have to know how to get the students in line, orderly leave the classrooms, meet together in the assigned meeting place, doing the head count. Once you have those basics in place, then you can start considering exceptions. Say Sally broke her leg in soccer last week, and she has a cast on now. Well, when we're doing the fire drill, well, we have to accommodate for that. Exceptions to the plans will always need to be considered, but without an overall test of the basics, exceptions can't even be thought about. So backup alone is not enough here. Humans are clicking on ransomware links. They're the ones that are going to accidentally delete files, use the word password for their password. Humans are going to be your biggest vector of data loss. We already discussed that. So ways to prevent that: having cyber insurance, cyber liability insurance, cyber security insurance. Talk to your insurance provider about this. Employee security training and a culture shift. A cyber insurance provider is going to ask you, do you train your employees on security culture? These are things that we can help you out with. Password management tools. Keeping all your passwords in one place that has one master password to gain access. That master password's paired with a multi-factor authentication prevents people from being able to access your myriad of passwords that you have, but allows you to keep secure, long, complicated passwords in the password management tool that you don't have to remember and your team doesn't have to remember. Really, the list is too long to cover in one webinar that's about business continuity here. So, in conclusion, business continuity, disaster recovery, it's a very complex and layered system, just like onions and ogres. Any of the Shrek fans out there know what I'm talking about there. Having multiple layers of protection are required in today's environment. Having insurance in place, having a managed image-based backup solution, having a continuity plan in place for any disaster, doing those fire drills. And, ECS, we're here to help guide your plan, ensure that your business is safeguarded in this ever-changing landscape. So I appreciate you spending a few moments with me here, talking about business continuity and disaster recovery. You can reach me via email at cmorey, CMOREY, at ecsconnects.com. And you can reach us via phone at 800-837-5790. Again, my name is Chris Morey, the IT Service Manager here at Electronic Communications. Hope to hear from you soon.